This is uncharted waters that we're in here, and we're not sure what the consequences will be and how they will unfold over time. I can say with some certainty that the site is basically going to be a national sacrifice zone. You have to understand that the Fukushima prefecture is one of the major sources of fish supply for the nation of Japan. Its ports were destroyed by the tsunamis. The fishermen and their trade organizations are more or less have declared open war against the Tokyo Electric Power Company for what they're doing and are demanding that they stop their dumping. We had the 3 Mile Island accident in 1979. That reactor did not experience anywhere near the destructiveness of the Fukushima reactors. They had off-site power, they didn't have earthquakes, they didn't have tsunamis, they had a partial meltdown, and it took about 10 years to get the contents of that core out. Those 50 workers who stuck on that site, who were the ones trying to pour water from the remote water cannons onto the pools and the reactors and doing the best they can, those 50 workers were doing heroic things. There was no extra barrier there to prevent the escape of radioactivity, and so the fire raged for 6 or 7 days, and a huge amount of radioactivity was released to the environment and deposited over a period of several days throughout most of Europe and the Northern Hemisphere. There were people sent in there with shovels and wheelbarrows to go on the roof of the reactor to basically handle extremely radioactive material, which meant they were deliberately being sent to their deaths. There were military reservists who were sent in to do some of the most dangerous work whose records no longer exist. It will take about 100 years from now for the radioactivity to decay to a level underneath those ruins at Chernobyl to be able to remove them. So we're looking at 4 generations of people. I mean, 150 years ago, the United States fought a civil war. There's a tendency by the nuclear industry to kind of narrow the risks down to certain effects. And it's mostly cancers. And it's mostly cancers of specific organs because they base a lot of their assumptions on what they observed in the Japanese atomic bomb survivor population. There's now growing evidence that radiation can cause a lot of other things to happen because it's one of the few environmental poisons that can damage your overall immune system. Birth defects, genetic disorders, diabetes, heart conditions. The people that you would be immediately concerned about are women who are pregnant or may not know they're pregnant, but are, especially in the first trimester, and infants. Infants are, it's generally agreed, they're somewhere between 15 and 20 times more vulnerable to radiation than adults. There is this mindset in the government amongst public health researchers involved in ascertaining the effects of radiation from nuclear activities that it's best, there's nothing good to occur if we make certain information public. The big lesson about Fukushima is that nature has this way of greatly exceeding the judgments of our scientists and engineers. For better or for worse, this accident has helped inform a whole generation of people who never really understood what happened at Chernobyl or at 3 Mile Island. And for better or for worse, they were provided at least a 2-week solid teach-in about what the consequences of nuclear power might be in this country.